How you guys doing this evening? It's September 5th. It's about 7:32 p.m. And I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and read to you guys. I haven't done a podcast in a while. But basically where we're at is the Tuolumne County Superior Court under Kevin Siebert, David C. Beiersdorf, and Hallie Campbell. Those three particular judges have basically kidnapped my child because they didn't have grounds or jurisdiction to do it. I was never found unfit. There was never any abuse. It was systematically to generate revenue. Then when I attempted to get my child back, defending in an aggressive way, Law Officer Julie Sackow, which is really embarrassing. Like I actually sat down and started thinking about it. This woman, Julie Sackow, is 63 years old, and she's pretending to be this abused, battered woman when there's never been a threat to her. She's never been harmed in any way, shape, or form. She's putting on a fake creating a false narrative, and it's really extremely embarrassing. Okay, so next time I have a court hearing, I'm inviting anybody and everybody that wants to come down and look at her, watch her. You'll laugh because it's a 63-year-old that's behaving like a child. It's really embarrassing to see, and it's really sad to see people that have a doctorates or have a higher education are sitting here and behaving like children. It's really pathetic. It's a mental disorder. And the thing about it is what it boils down to is Kevin Siebert definitely needs to seek some therapy. He definitely is. He lacks the ability to hold himself accountable for his own behavior, and instead is using our legal system, the taxpayer-funded legal system, to retaliate to justify his disgusting, unethical behavior. So it's pretty disgusting to see people that try to claim that they actually have some sort of an intelligence behave like children. Now, I'm going to go ahead. So throughout all of this, Kevin Siebert is attempting to unlawfully incriminate, incarcerate, and cage an individual that's never committed any crimes. What they're doing is they're fabricating crime. Now, the sad part about it is you have other actors that are involved, like Cassandra Janeski, a part of the DA's office. Although she's been very polite, there's no justification for incriminating an innocent man or fabricating charges or creating charges. In all honesty, it's a disgusting waste of taxpayers' money. It will be brought up, and it will be. I not only did I finish the writ of supersedis that is going to federal court, it's also going to be utilized as evidence to show the behaviors and the disgusting waste, the gross waste of what taxpayers are paying for. The whole reason why somebody takes an oath, a government employee takes an oath to the Constitution, is promising the people that they're not going to be wasteful with the taxpayers' money, right? We're paying them to protect our constitutional rights. Well, that's not what they're doing. What they're doing is they're wasting taxpayers' money to attack constitutional rights. They're doing the complete opposite. So we're basically paying them to sabotage our rights or constitutional laws. Now, there's direct oversight that is responsible for making sure that this is done properly. That oversight is not doing their job either. They tend to like to wait until something becomes more serious before they actually step in. Well, that's not really an effective way of keeping the peace. I don't understand why they got to wait until something becomes such a disaster before they actually step up to the game. I did talk to the Judicial Council of Judicial Performance. They were concerned when I told them what was going on, because what the Tuolumne County Court is doing to children is a pressure cooker. There's lots of dads right now that are really fed up with it, and it's about to explode in a not healthy way for the judges. Now, I did also call U.S. Marshals. I told them that the Tuolumne County Superior Court judges don't realize how close this is to exploding on them, to where the U.S. Marshals are going to need to come out here and protect them, because what they're doing. Let's be real with this. You have individuals, strangers, which are three judges, that are systematically kidnapping children from parents without justification. They don't they don't have the right or the jurisdiction to do it on the basis that they've been doing it. And let's be real, whenever you have a child, your own flesh and blood, and some stranger comes in and says, you don't have a right to your own child. Why? Because I said so. Doesn't work that way, buddy. In fact, that definitely will invoke a violent outbreak. So the problem is these judges, because they think they have absolute immunity, which it can and it will get pierced. They're not holding themselves accountable to their own behavior. David Beiersdorf, I'm really extremely ashamed of, because prior to that, when he was an attorney, I've talked to a few of his old clients, and he used to complain about the corruption in Tuolumne County, and now he is like literally a beacon of it. Like the things that he's doing it's okay. You could take it how you want to take it, but I'm going to tell you right now, he's not in a good position right now. Not just administratively, but with the public. Like you can't behave like that with people's children and expect them to like you in public. So the thing about it is you don't have the authority or jurisdiction to do what you're doing. I don't know why you guys think you do, but you don't, because what you're doing is illegal. And not only is it illegal, it's unethical. And under common law, it's definitely illegal, because we have a fundamental right to be parents, and you don't have a fundamental right to take them away. That's the thing. That's what's funny. So what it boils down to, if it keeps escalating, and like I said, you could take it however you fucking want to take it. If it keeps escalating, it's not going to be good. Violently, it's not going to be good, because I am going to defend myself, and so are their fathers and their families, from physical attacks. Like when you kidnap a child and you don't have authorization to do it, it's no different than strangers kicking your door in and snatching your child. That's what you're doing. You don't have grounds to do it. And so just because you're wearing a black robe, doesn't mean that you have a right to be an enemy of the Constitution. You see what I'm getting at? Like, so I'm going to tell you right now, all of those people that have been taking an oath, I would suggest that you start following the oath that you're taking, because I don't understand. You're going to be held accountable to that oath in some way, shape, or form. You will, I promise you. So anyways, off topic. I'm going to go ahead and read the writ of supersedeas. I am at this point, I am definitely knocking on the door of a lot of federal oversight. A lot of them, they have to be very okay, so a lot of them are hesitant. The reason why they're hesitant, they probably get a lot of calls like this. And they probably think, a lot of it is probably just people that have had their children taken away on legitimate reasons, and they're just venting. This is not one of those situations. There was no grounds. I have documented signed evidence from the opposing party of this fraudulent illegal behavior and the fraud upon the court and the false evidence to kidnap a child. It's kidnapping. Whenever you submit false evidence to a court and a court makes a decision to remove custody, which is a fundamental right of, I'm a natural parent. That's my son. I have a natural right to be his father. Whenever you take custody away, there's very minimal criteria that you can do it. Now, the reason why federal oversight's being really hesitant is because they get a million calls a day, probably. Oh, they unlawfully did this, unlawfully did this, unlawfully did this, but they really had grounds. In this situation, they don't have grounds. And then you have Julie Stockeld, who is, I'm going to tell you right now, she's a terrible actor. I would never hire her. And the only reason why the judges are agreeing with her is because they also fucked up. And the sad part about it is you have three people in black robes that their job is to hold people accountable for their behavior, but they're not holding themselves accountable. They're trying to dump it on other people that are innocent. That's pathetic. That's where you lose your intelligence, because it takes a very intelligent person to be self-aware of their own behaviors. And if you fucked up, say, I fucked up, I'm sorry, and make it right. You don't try to justify your lies. You don't try to justify your behavior. And you definitely don't try to find an innocent father that just, first of all, stay the fuck out of my business. I'm a dad. That's my son. I didn't ask you to get involved in my business. Stay the fuck out of my business. And you're getting all in here like you have a right to be here, and you don't. So here's the deal. Stay the fuck out of my fucking business, because I'm an individual that is capable of going into court and systematically showing or articulating your behavior. I'm also the same type of individual that can knock your teeth down your fucking throat. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. And I'm not saying I'm going to knock your teeth down your throat. I'm saying I'm capable of it. I am basically, how's the saying go? It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, right? I try to keep my sword sheathed as much as possible. But make no mistake, Carter is a part of my flesh and blood. And I am saying this with the utmost truth, that I will defend my flesh and blood by whatever means necessary. And that can and is not limited to knocking your teeth down your throat. And I say you in general speech, not you as in targeting anybody specifically. So that is not a direct threat. But I'll give you an example. If I was out in public in a mall walking with my kid, and you come up and try to snatch my kid, you're not going to walk away with your life. And that is guaranteed. And if you take that as a direct threat, take it how you want. I can say that under freedom of speech, because that is not a direct threat. A direct threat is when you actually mention somebody by name. And that's here's the sad part about that. There's been several times that Julie Sockout has accused me of direct threats, and that's not true. I've never been arrested for any threats. I was arrested for something that I didn't even fucking do to begin with. I was arrested for what allegedly violating a restraining order. Now, here's the embarrassing part about that is we have a jury trial coming up. I'm hoping that they will be honest, because so far they have not been honest. There's been a lot of corruption. There's been a lot of dishonesty, and there's been a lot of lying. And I don't understand the justification behind that, because if you're a district attorney, a police officer, a judge, or anything in between, your job is to do, ultimately, let's keep it simple, your job is to do what's right, and if you have to fabricate evidence and fabricate lies to make somebody a criminal, like how is that beneficial? Like, how's that beneficial to society, to the public, to incriminate an innocent man? It's like let's think about it. Let's put it in this perspective. Let's say allegedly I drove downtown and I came within 100 yards or whatever of Julie's office. Let's say that I did. Let's say that I did actually do that for argument of sake. And then you so how is that? What's wrong with that? Like, why? So what? Why would you go arrest somebody in court because of that? Why would you go arrest somebody and put somebody in a cage because they drove past an office building in downtown? Like, how is that beneficial to anybody? Is it beneficial? The only thing I can think of is how it'd be beneficial, and it isn't beneficial to anybody but yourself, is you're trying to deflect. You're trying to put the heat on somebody else because you're guilty of your own criminal behaviors and you can't hold yourself accountable. So you're trying to draw attention to somebody else. That's what Julie's been doing this whole time. And here's the thing about it. It's I'm going to say this. I'm not going to let you put me in a cage or arrest me to deflect accountability for your behavior. So if other people won't hold you accountable to your behavior, I will. And I am not going to sit here and get thrown in jail for a civil liberty. Okay? So that being said, if you're going to take the time to prosecute or try to go after an innocent man just because you can't hold yourself accountable to your own behaviors, children, I will make sure that you are held accountable. And that goes to the sheriff's office too. So if any of you guys want to escalate something into something it doesn't need to escalate to, all because you guys want to commit crimes against this country, then I guess what it boils down to is I guess I'm going to have to represent the people. Because when we go into court, and I'm going to say this right now, Cassandra's been very polite, right? So I'm not going to say anything mean to Cassandra, because here's the thing about Cassandra Janeski. I never got a chance to actually meet her, and I can say right now, I don't trust anybody that has taken an oath, which is sad because those are the people that we are supposed to trust because they took an oath. They promised us that they were going to protect us, but it seems to me that they're turning into a gang, and or have been a gang, and what they're doing is not even. It's not only is it not ethical, but it's just flat out disgusting, and because it's like I would have a lot more respect for Cassandra because it's Cassandra's job to hold these people accountable too. Like like the way Julie's behaving, it's Cassandra's job to prosecute her. Like right now, there's evidence to prove that Julie committed a felony. There's evidence to prove that Olivia committed a felony, and those felonies were the result of a 4-year-old being mentally abused and damaged. Like, there's nothing more important in this world than our children, and it's very disheartening to see somebody that swore an oath to the Constitution that promised the people that they were going to protect us, letting a 4-year-old be deprived of his father. For what reason? If you look into the reason why my child was taken, it didn't even happen. It was false evidence submitted by Julie and Olivia. It's going with the writ of supersedis to the Judicial Council for Judicial Performance, because Hallie Campbell accepted fraudulent evidence to deprive a 4-year-old and a 42-year-old of fundamental rights that are guaranteed to me by the Constitution that she swore an oath on. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Think about that for a minute. We have 3 people that wear a black robe that are making starting 240 something thousand a year from the taxpayers, and they're there to protect our children. Like, I can tell you right now, that's what Hallie's job is to protect our children. That's a good job. I mean, that's a dream job for me, because that's what I got thrown in jail for protecting our children. What I'm doing right now is I'm revealing to the public that these individuals are snatching children unconstitutionally, and we make mistakes. I get it. We're human. We make mistakes, and my behaviors are not because Hallie made a mistake. It's because Hallie didn't fix that mistake. Think about that for a minute. David Beiersdorf made a massive mistake. He didn't fix that mistake. He's making it worse. Kevin Siebert, he's in charge of the 2 individuals that are making mistakes, and he's making mistakes himself. You guys are all fallible. You're humans. I get it. But to continue, what you're doing is you're making it worse. So I don't know if I don't know if you guys are trying to stir emotions up in the people to try to evoke some sort of a mass shooting or something, or to try to trigger it. But I can tell you right now, like, you can't just take people's kids and expect them to just say, yes, please, may I have another. They're going to try to fight to get their kids back. And if you guys have a problem with parents fighting to get their kids back, then you are the problem, because we're parents. Okay, so let's say this is old-fashioned biblical times, or let's say these are ancient times, right? You ever heard the term an eye for an eye? An eye for an eye, if some of you guys are on the lower end of the spectrum, IQ spectrum, an eye for an eye means that you should be afforded the same damage you did to somebody else. So if you poke my eye out, you deserve to lose your eye too. That's all men are created equal. That's equal protection under law. That's all. I mean, not only is that statutory, but that's common. That's God-given. That's ethical. That's moral. Whatever it is. If you don't believe in that, then you have an issue. You have a psychological issue that you need to go see a therapist for. Basically, it also falls under treat others the way you want to be treated. So, under that, like that being said, and it actually, I think it's disgusting to even say this. This tells you what kind of conscience I have. If you're going to take somebody else's kids, then you deserve to lose yours. Right? That's eye for an eye. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm saying that that's what I'm going to do. But under an eye for an eye, under that theory, that's what that means. Right? So if you're going to go, if you just go up to somebody and you're like, I don't think you should have this kid. Why? Because that person over there said that you gave him drugs. Let that sink in for a second. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. And your job is to prevent that kind of stupid behavior, but you're encouraging it. And then when somebody's calling you out on it, you're fabricating criminal behavior on a person that's calling you out on your criminal behavior. What the fuck is going on here? That in itself is abuse. You guys are being abusers. Like, okay. And that is why this is why this is here. And this, which looks backwards because it's hard to read because it's mirrored on cardstock, right? The reason why that is there is not to attack anybody. It is not. This right here, this document right here is not. This is not to attack Julie Sockeld. This is not to attack Olivia Phillips. This is not to attack Hallie Campbell. This is not to attack any of the defendants on this list that you see. In fact, before I send this in, this is going to be redacted because I'm going to tell you this right now. I am amending my lawsuit before I send this in, and there's going to only be 5 people on there. Now, I can't legally apologize to the individuals that are on here because the way our fucked up legal system is, if I sit here and apologize for the individuals that are on here, it's basically trying to say that that you didn't deserve to be on here. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that some battles are not worth fighting, and for the sake of a 4-year-old, I think things will go a lot smoother for getting a 4-year-old back to his healthy parent than to sit here and battle these people that contributed to the mental abuse of a 4-year-old, an innocent 4-year-old, an amazing 4-year-old. He's not even a bad boy. He's a good boy. It's not. It's gonna take too much energy from me and you, and him, to fight or battle individuals that contributed. And when they contributed, I'm not necessarily going to say they willingly contributed. They probably thought they were doing the right thing. They were misguided by narcissistic people that are very convincing, like Julie Sockeld, Olivia Phillips, and 3 judges. And I am going to say I'm sorry that you guys got involved. I'm not going to say I'm sorry for putting you on here because everybody's accountable for the behavior. You guys do. Some of you deserve. I'm going to say all of you deserve to be on here, but not to this extent. You understand? So I'm all about the punishment fitting the crime. Although every single name on that lawsuit did something wrong. They did something that they should be held accountable for, but not for that. Like the accountability should not be. I think dragging somebody through a lawsuit in federal court doesn't justify their behavior, because what I'm going to say right now. Okay, I'm gonna name off the individuals that contributed to this disgusting thing that we're dealing with, but I don't feel that the punishment should be taking them to federal court. I think it should be something else, but I honestly feel that it's I feel that you guys will have your justice brought upon you in some other shape, and it may not be from me. Some people are religious, some people aren't. I think that you guys, there's people on here that I know will probably end up holding themselves accountable, and then there's people on here that will try to say that it was my fault. But you're on here because you did something wrong to a 4-year-old. It's not me. I don't care. See, I handle my own business. I don't deal with courts. Like, I'm doing this for my son. This is for a 4-year-old. This is me being civil for a 4-year-old, right? So I'm going to tell you right now, I have no problem remaining civil. Julie Sacco can pretend all she wants and fabricate this narrative that I'm a dangerous person, but it really just makes her look like an idiot. Like, you're 63 years old, grow up, you know? Grow the fuck up. put on your adult panties and grow the fuck up. So I'm gonna read off some names that I intend to take off of the lawsuit. Okay. So Gavin Newsom. Let's see. Daniel Anaya Kirk, Martin Huberty, Terry Woodrow, Frank Axe, Gary Tofanelli, Jeff Brown, Cassandra Janicki. I keep pronouncing Janicki. Excuse me. You know, your last name sounds like a car dealership. Sorry. Oscar Martinez, Diego Martinez, Natalia Monaco. I hate saying this. Is pissing me off to say this. Stacy Spring, because I want you to stay on there. But I gotta say this right now, Stacy, you're a fucking disgusting wretch. Sharon Sanders. The 2 highway patrol officers that have been coming into my hearings, I'm removing them off of this lawsuit, but I'm filing a different one for you guys. Sorry. And that's it. So the names that are gonna remain on this particular lawsuit that's already in federal court is Judge Kevin Siebert, Judge Hallie Campbell, Judge David Beiersdorf, Commissioner Philip Pimentel, Ryan Campbell, Veronica Roberts, Nate Nutting, and Clint Parrish. Sorry guys, you have to remain. And you know what? And Nate Nutting, he's a wobbler right now. And the reason why I say that is only because this is my opinion, right? Okay, so I'm going to tell you my opinion. I can't necessarily state it as a fact, but if we were basing it on a preponderance of evidence, they'd be guilty. I feel that Nate Nutting and Julie Sockeld, Julie Sockeld renewed her California bar it's either a week before or a week after Nate Nutting got his, right? In 2016. Both of their tactics in family court are to character attack and sabotage a character of a parent to make them appear to be something they're not. Julie is going way overboard with it because she's trying to deflect the attention away from her because I've discovered it and I've been revealing it to the public, which I have a right to do, right? From the very beginning, I have minute orders and that prove that from the very start, she has been attempting to stop me from broadcasting anything about this online to cover her ass. Now, here's the big problem. She's gotten other people involved based on fabricated lies. That is defamation of character. Whenever you accuse somebody of criminal behavior and it's not true or justified, and I spent 12 hours in jail because of that, you're going to be held accountable severely for that, because what that is that's false imprisonment. That's and all those officers that arrested me, I appreciate your kindness and your politeness when it happened, but there's going to be a second lawsuit that's going into a federal district court for another deprivations of rights under color of law, a separate one. And the only reason why it's separate is not because I'm trying to be vexatious or trying to be annoying or frivolous. It's because of the complexities of it. It's going to be a lot easier for, and I'm saying honorable because so far they haven't done anything that I've seen to be dishonorable. Honorable Judge Kirk E. Sheriff and Honorable Barbara A. McCulloughy, and I apologize if I pronounce that wrong, ma'am. These two individuals have a tough job. They have a rough job here, and I don't want to make it any more complicated, and I want to make it smooth, easy, and for everybody. Because how difficult is that going to be if you if you have 25 people that all did different things and we're all addressing a lawsuit on all these different things that everybody did. Some of the things that these people did on this lawsuit, I don't think need to go to federal court. I think that's something that, I'm going to be honest, some people on that list that I'm removing have enough emotional intelligence to where we can just shake hands and go our separate ways. Because the people I'm removing off this lawsuit, I've never gotten a dime from any of them. They haven't even been served yet. So technically speaking, they haven't even been sued yet. It's just sitting in court waiting for a screening. But I'm gonna remove it before they get screened. So it's not gonna go anywhere. Now, if they want to get upset and make it go somewhere, it can go somewhere. Like I said, the people that I'm removing on here still did something wrong. It's not. I'm not saying they're innocent. I don't go after innocent people. You contributed to depriving a father of his son and a son of his father, if that makes any sense. And if I didn't say it, Natalia Monaco, she's also being removed off this. And here's the thing about it. I'm going to say I'm sorry for Natalia Monaco and Stacy Spring. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry what I did to you. I'm sorry that you work for somebody like Julie Sockel, and you're. I'm not going to say this for Natalia because I haven't had a lot of correspondence with Natalia, but I've had a lot of correspondence with Stacy Spring, and I can tell you right now, your behavior is not normal. If you think it's okay to go into a courtroom and try to claim, and I'm smiling right now because I'm covering up what I really feel. So if you see me smiling when I say this, it's because I'm trying not to cry on camera. When you go into a courtroom and you turn to somebody and you say they're reopening an investigation for murder because your ex committed suicide, and she's not my ex, she was the love of my life. But if you're going to sit here and say that they're reopening an investigation and accusing me of murder when I had a sweet, most loving individual that had a prior history of trafficking and abuse, because she wasn't from here, she's from Russia. If you can say that to somebody out of anger, you're angry with a dad because his kid was taken illegally. That my kid was never drugged. So keep this in mind. My kid has never been drugged. That was a lie. It was fabricated. And I messaged you and I gave you that. I showed you that evidence. I gave you that medical report of the day in question. He had medical labs done to him in the emergency room on the date in question, and he tested negative. It was lie. It was fraudulent evidence. So here's the thing about it. There's nothing more disgusting than somebody that is trying to attack somebody else because they're calling you guys out on your moral compass. Your moral compass is so fucked up. I think you guys need to go seek a therapist because you're attacking me because you kidnapped my child on lies and fraud. So you're going to attack somebody because they're calling you out on your lies and fraud because you took their 4-year-old away. Like I said, I'm handling this civilly. But 5 years ago, I've knocked teeth out for less. Do you understand? Yes, I am capable of being violent. Every father that has children are capable of being violent. But you're not fucking worth it. Do you understand? You're not worth it. So, here's the thing. I've never harmed a woman and child. I have, but you have. You're harming a 4-year-old right now. You guys are abusing my 4-year-old. And I am going to tell you, it takes a lot of restraint to do this civilly. But I'm going to do it because when my kid grows up, when my kid gets older, and when I say older, I mean old enough to ask questions. I'm not talking a legal adult. I want you all to remember this, especially the mother. He will get old enough to ask questions, and you better believe there is a massive paper trail to show your abuse and your mental disorders. Massive paper trail. massive paper trail. Let me show you guys something, okay? I probably shouldn't show you guys this, but especially Julie, because Julie is a fraud and she does hire dark web hackers to abuse dads. There's another dad that's giving me evidence right now to show that the law office of Julie Sockeld has logged into his social media by IP address. Okay, let me see if I can show this. Whenever I say that obsession beats what do you call it, studying, professions, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but I'm obsessed about this stuff now because my son, I'm a dad, so I'm gaining the tools that I need to get him back. So here's the deal. I already know, I'm gonna say right now, I already know that the disgusting individuals like Julie and the judges are going to see this video, if the judges see this video, they just might as well recuse themselves, but they won't. They don't follow judicial canons or laws or rules. Hopefully we can get them out of there. I think at this point, so the Judicial Council of California is expecting another complaint from me. I had a long conversation with them over the phone, and they want everything compiled on all three judges. And dude, I have so much evidence on these judges because what you see me say publicly is only part of what I have. So whenever you see me rant and rave, that's only a drop in the bucket. If people are like, oh yeah, you should be silent, there's a lot of things that I have that I have not mentioned to anybody. But I can tell you right now, the evidence that's going to the Judicial Council for Judicial Performance, the papers that I'm sending are there's so much of them, it won't fit in a manila envelope. I have to send it in a box. And the stuff that I have on these individuals are more than just what's going on in court. I'm aware of the house in Calypso Bay. I'm aware of the shell company in Florida, the fake lawsuit, or the fake law firm. There's a building over there in Florida. It's a law firm. Websites registered through domains by proxy. The pictures of the attorneys are basically, if you right click on one of the attorney's pictures on this website, he's not just an attorney. He's also a IT professional, a chef, and all these other positions on LinkedIn with the same profile picture. Come on, guys, so stupid. That law firm has a phone number, a business office phone number that is tied to Julie's business office phone number, which is kind of strange. I did before this civil restraining order, and I'm saying before the civil restraining order that Julie filed against me. I'm going to assume that that's why she filed the civil restraining order. I was severely investigating, I was investigating Julie, because I knew she was dirty. I know she did dirty things, and stop. Hold on. Okay, you can look at her and you can tell she has no moral compass, and it's okay. I get it. You have no moral compass, but stay the fuck away from my kid. You're fucking disgusting. And so I background checked her phone number, and I hope Cassandra grabs this video and shows it to the jury, because if she doesn't, I will. I background checked Julie's office number. It was associated with 3 individuals. One of the individuals was named Amanda Julie. Obviously, we know who that is. There was one named John Bobbitt, and then there was another individual. It looked almost like either a Middle Eastern name. The John Bobbitt one I kind of laughed about because it's obviously it's a fictitious name. But when you dig into this actual individual, it fell into a guy named John Wickman. You follow John Wickman, it goes to a Wickman and Wyman law office in Florida, which the domain name is registered by Domains by Proxy. Domains by Proxy is a registrar that used to be owned by GoDaddy that allows you to register domain names under anonymous, under basically register domain names anonymously, so you don't know who really owns them. Now, if you go to Better Business Bureau and you type in Domains by Proxy, you'll see that they have a 1-star rating and like an F grade rating because Domains by Proxy is used by organized crime and scammers. Now, mostly, I'm not gonna say all of them. It actually goes further down, deeper than that. That goes up to politicians that I've discovered in California, but I'm not gonna go down that path. And I'm gonna tell you something about that. So I'm gonna say this publicly, okay? I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to, because I'm probably gonna get shot for this. But so I used to be in a motorcycle club. I'm not going to mention who it was or what I did or mention what anybody else did. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant because I've been out of it for about 4 years. I'm glad I'm out of it. I don't want my son around it. Obviously, Julie and Olivia are bringing my son around it because the vice president of so-called club showed up at my court hearing for a minute and left. I don't know what that was about. I know he was invited by Julie. I don't know if it was there to intimidate me. It didn't work. It didn't intimidate me. Now I'm gonna let you guys know a little bit of history between me and that individual. I'm really upset with that individual right now because he was not man enough to talk to me face to face. Instead, he was gullible enough to listen to one side of the story. And I'm hoping now he understands the full side of the story because I've tried to contact him 4 or 5 different times with no response. So I'm hoping now, and when I say contact him, I'm not saying to meet up for coffee and be polite. I'm mad at him because, in all honesty, what's going on between me and my son and in court is nobody's fucking business, especially his. And he had no business being there. And if the intent for him, if he wanted to come watch court hearings, so be it. It's a constitutional right. But if he was showing up there to cause intimidation while I'm fighting for my son, I can tell you right now, you need to mind your own fucking business because it has nothing to do with you. And if you want something to do with you, call. My number. I've called you many times. And I'm not saying that as a direct threat. I'm saying we can handle this however you want to handle it, You already know, like, the thing about it is dude, me and so-called individual patched out at the same fucking church. So the thing about it is, I don't know what kind of tactic you were trying to pull by inviting the vice president of my old motorcycle club there, but I don't think it had the intended effect that you thought it did, because I'm hoping now that because of my disgust at this, I'm hoping now I really do wish the best for all of them. I'm not a part of that club anymore. I wish the best for all of those individuals. I don't wish the best for the individuals that accuse me of something I didn't do, because that seems to be a I don't understand. Do you guys just you guys just want to fuck me, or what is it? Because throughout my life, I've had so many fucking haters that have accused me of things that I have never done. And here's the thing about it. I have nothing. I mean, yeah, okay, let me rephrase. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to say it just like it is. I have nothing to hide. Things that I've done in the past with whatever I was affiliated with, it's not my business to tell. Whether I was involved or not, it's not my business to tell anymore. I left it. And I hope that individuals who I used to call brothers see this and know that whatever involvement and whatever things had happened in the past is not my business to tell. It's but I will tell it. But the only person that I will ever tell it to is my little boy. Carter is the only one that will know everything, and. I'm going to pause for a second just so. so this will come out so you can hear what I'm saying. I have everything. I have everything that I've done in my past recorded and stored for him when I die. But I will say one thing. I am not going to sit in a cage for something I didn't do. And if it just so happens you end up getting me into a cage for something I didn't do, I will still retaliate while I'm in there. In one way, shape, or form. Because I believe in accountability. So basically, if any people that I used to call a brother in the past have a problem, you know my number. But this doesn't involve you. Mind your own fucking business. This has to do with my son. And the people I used to call brother, we all know how family is, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this. None of your lives matter to me. My son's life is the only one that matters to me. And if something happens to you guys, you know, I'm not saying I'm going to do anything, but if something happens to you guys, I don't give a shit. I only care about my son. My son's the only one I care about. My son's the only one I'll protect. I won't protect Olivia. I won't protect Julie. I won't protect the judges. I would have. I would have protected the judges. If something ever happens to you guys and I'm present, I'm not going to stop anybody. I don't even know why I did before. There was an individual. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not going to tell you who it is, and I'm not going to go into detail because I don't have to by law, because I don't have to reveal my sources. But I can tell you an anonymous individual was about to take Julie out. You're welcome, motherfucker, because I stopped him from killing you. And you deserve it. You do. You deserve it. And but don't you do. I'm sorry. You can say this in front of a jury. You fucking deserve it. You're abusing children. You're lying to take children away from healthy parents. If you end up in a car accident, I ain't losing no sleep over it, and you can get offended by that if you want. Anybody that's a jury would I hope would agree with me, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you, because I don't give a fuck about Julie. And I don't know why she thinks she's important enough to get a restraining order, because I have better things to do, like wipe my ass, than to fucking follow you around. The only reason why I'm mentioning you so much is not because I give two shits about you. It's because I care about the people that fucking hire you. Like, so I'm gonna let you know right now. Just to start, I got 10 subpoenas for our trial coming up. These are 10 individuals that were prior clients and associates of yours. I can tell you right now, you're not a liked person. I'm sorry. Everybody hates you, and the only people that are nice to you are trying to get something from you. Okay. Anyways, all right. Change topic. Okay, I got off topic. So what I'm gonna say right now, because I am gonna post this publicly. This is podcast number 2, right? This is podcast episode 2. And everything that I'm posting right now, everything that I'm saying is this is technically a media broadcast, right? This is a story. This is my life. This is documentary. Anything I say on here is technically protected under California Constitution, Article 1, Section 2. This is also protected under litigation privilege 47 subsection B. Now, I told Cassandra, I said, throughout a lot of this, there's been a lot of he said, she said, blah 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 blah. All these people that keep saying this, I have some sort of litigation procedure, a court hearing, a trial, or something, and California gives absolute immunity to litigants that have trials or hearings together, like opposing parties and whatnot. I'm self-represented, so that means I get that 47B litigation privilege. Now, it's an absolute immunity, and it is very broad. So essentially, what I tell people is I have a right, if I'm going to send any kind of this communication correspondence is in or out of court. Now, Kevin Siebert issued a civil restraining order, and I laughed about it because in one of the paragraphs he said that I have to address Julie as Julie Sockel without any kind of derogatory names. Well, here's the thing about it. When you said that, then you basically deprived me of my absolute immunities under 47 subsection B. Now, because of the 14th Amendment supremacy clause, or the 14th Amendment and the supremacy clause that states that that everybody's afforded equal protection under law, which means that the protections that I have are the same protections that judges get or should get, because it's equal protection. Now, if you're going to deprive me of my absolute immunity in California 47 subsection B, I think it's only fair, and I think a jury of 8 would agree that you should lose your California immunity, absolute immunity as well, because if you're not protecting somebody else's absolute immunity in California, then we shouldn't protect yours, right? That's equal protection under law. Not only that, but it's common law. All men are created equal, right? So keep that in mind. I know that sometimes judges like to think that they have some sort of an intelligence because they went to school, but intelligence isn't just because of your credentials and education. Intelligence really it falls under a full range spectrum of emotional, how you handle your own accountability, self-awareness. There's a lot more that factors into actual intelligence than just showing that you have a doctorate degree in juris or that you're wearing a black robe. I would have a hell of a lot more respect for a judge up there if he or she, and when I say all men are created equal, that's I'm not directing at anybody's gender per se. It's a general statement. It's all mankind is created equal. But mankind is not an actual gender. It's humans. So basically, I'm gonna. Let's see. It's. I've been recording this for 52 minutes now, so I got about 8 more minutes. I'm gonna try to keep these about an hour. I didn't even cover everything that I wanted to cover. So that being said, I'm amending my lawsuit before I send this writ of supersedeas in, because whenever I send this writ of supersedeas, you're supposed to serve all parties. There's a lot of parties on here I'm removing and splitting off into a separate lawsuit that's going to go to a different court, still federal, but a different court. Now I'm going to let you know, and I'm kind of letting you guys know what I'm doing, not for Cassandra to grab or for Julie to grab or the judges to grab. I mean, these people are going to get these notices anyways. But so this writ of supersedeas is what a writ of supersedeas is. It's an emergency stay order of the lower court that if they don't stop what's going on, it's going to cause more damage, more irreparable damage. That's an understatement. So basically, this writ of supersedeas is going to be filed under pursuant Rule 62 in federal court, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, and also the inherent powers of the court to grant equitable relief. Essentially, I'll put it in easy terms because simple terms for people to understand. I'm basically asking the Eastern District Court of Fresno Division to help me. I am being attacked. Help me. No. I'm basically asking the Eastern District of California, Fresno, to please tell these people to stop being bullies, because I am sitting here trying to get my son back. I'm trying to do it the lawful way, and they are doing it the unlawful way. I'm the only one here that's playing by the rules, and because I'm playing by the rules, I'm being attacked for it. So on October 7th, I have a trial by jury. these jury of my 12 peers, hopefully they're going to be legit, not paid off by somebody, because so far that's kind of what's been going on here. There's been a lot of dirty corruption. And I just want to let you guys know, you guys should just stop now, because I could tell you based on my observation what has been going on, and I'm really hoping that these dads don't get scared. And I hope these dads, I hope they come to my court hearing, because I'm going to subpoena a lot of them. I hope a lot of them come to my court hearing and we can stand united, no matter what beef we may have had in the past. Which I don't. There's only one dad that we had issues with in the past, and I'm hoping we squashed that. Well, we've talked for a while, and I need to talk to the person. I need to talk to this individual in person. We were talking on the phone, and I don't trust digital stuff after my stuff was hacked into and malware was put on my stuff. Julie's been putting malware on opposing parties' phones to monitor what they do. That's illegal. That's massively illegal. Not only is that a violation of search and seizure, but that's defined as an act of terrorism as well. That's computer fraud. And whatever dark web hacker or maybe affiliated associate she has that may or may not be seeing this, dude, whoever you are, guy, girl, it doesn't matter. You better fucking take your crypto and run, because this is gaining a lot of steam. And I understand that. Okay, this is where I was getting at. Sorry, I got sidetracked. We were talking about people doing dirty things under the table. Okay, as far as doing dirty things under the table, if you sell drugs or you're a drug trafficker, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to judge you. I don't care. That's not my business. If you're a bank robber and you're going around, you're jacking banks, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Hell, if you're a goddamn fucking hitman and you're going around taking dudes out, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you're committing some sort of financial fraud. I don't care if you're doing some white collar crime. It's not my business. But everybody has a code of ethics. There's always a base code of ethics. I have a code of ethics that are instilled in me from birth. I do not harm women and children. I don't involve women and children in anything that could harm them. But I will say, if you try to run at me and you're a woman and you try to stab me, I'm going to pop you. Because I have a right to defend myself. But that being said, there's a code of ethics that we all follow. We don't traffic children. And what's going on right now is kids are deprived of their fundamental rights to generate revenue. That's disgusting, guys. Come on. We need to cut that shit out. And I don't understand why these judges are involved in this, because you're already making really fucking good money. Just do it right. Why? If you're making fucking $250,000 a year, take your money and do it the fucking right way. Stop doing illegal shit with children. If you want to do illegal shit, don't involve children. Stop trafficking our children. It's disgusting. And when you start trafficking children, you're taking those base code of ethics from all parties and you're throwing them out the window. You understand what I'm saying? Whenever I'm the type of person, I'm very old fashioned. I will defend myself and my family by whatever means necessary. And I think other dads and even some moms are watching this right now, and they would agree. Hell, I think that U.S. Marshals, officers that swore an oath to the Constitution, a jury of 12, hopefully Cassandra. I can tell you right now, I don't get a real bad vibe from Cassandra. I don't. And so either she's just following the rest of the sheep in the wrong direction, or she's a really good actress because she seems like a pretty normal individual. I think what it is though is I think she's easily influenced. So I'm gonna say this right now. I get it, because when I was younger I was very easily influenced by the wrong people. But I can tell you right now, there's what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And if you're in a position where you're supposed to be prosecuting criminals or people that are a negative on our society, you chose the wrong person. I'm not doing nothing to nobody. and Julie's so wrapped up in her own fucking ego. She's up here like, oh my God, you're not worth my fucking time. I think of Julie Sawkel like, okay, here, let me show you something. You see this shoe? You see this Adidas? You see the paint on there? You see that scratch? This shoe right here holds more value to me than Julie's life, Julie's human existence. Like, I would be happier that this shoe is not in the trash than Julie being a part of society. I'm not saying that as a threat. I'm saying that like if something, like if she were to get into an accident or something like tomorrow, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. I don't give a shit, because in my opinion, she's a disgusting wretch. She's harming and trafficking children. She's kidnapping children, and she's lying about it. Here's the thing about it. You're committing white-collar crimes. You guys are all committing white-collar crimes. Just because you work for the government or an officer of the court does not give you a free pass to kidnap children. You committed perjury, which is a crime. That's a statutory crime. That's not something that is like, when you lie in court, it doesn't matter if it's a court of equity. There's laws that you can't do that. And it's Cassandra's job to enforce those laws, and you're not doing it. So Cassandra, I'm going to say this. I know this is kind of messed up, and I'm sorry that I did this, but when I submitted you to that PDF document, I was hoping that you would review it. I'm sure you did. But now, because you're an attorney under California Bar Rule 8.3, you're kind of mandated to report Julie now, because I showed you proof of unethical behavior. She submitted a declaration that was fraudulent on behalf of Olivia. And because she's representing Olivia, whether she knows or doesn't know that it's truthful, she knows it's not truthful now, and she is not providing steps to fix or remedy the issue. Instead, they're all running with it like they have grounds to take my kid. That drug test was fraudulent. It was fake, and it's a felony perjury. And if you want me to send you the California Bar rules that state that she's also to be charged with felony perjury, whether she knew it was truthful or not, it's her job to investigate declarations of her client to make sure they're truthful before they get submitted in court, especially if it involves or causes a fundamental right to be violated. So Cassandra, I think so far I kind of like you, even though like you're the opposing counsel, and I've been told by my team to not trust you, and I don't. So but I'm going to be respectful to you, because you're being respectful to me. But I'm going to tell you right now, just please do your job. Investigate it. Have Eric Hovatter investigate it. It's a felony, and it's so blatant. Like, the evidence is right there. It's a signed declaration. It's an e-signature, but somebody signed it. Now, what I think Julie does, because I have ex-clients that have came to me and will declare it on an 030, that Julie will take it upon herself to put declarations together and submit it on behalf of her clients without notifying them. She acts almost like she acts as a power of attorney for them, where she will do things without notifying her clients of it, and they will find out later and not agree with it. Now, I have more than one client that has reported this. I also have, now I'm also going to say this. This involves Nate Nutting. I'm also aware that one of your clients came to you, Mr. Nutting, and told you that her ex-husband had sexual intercourse with Julie, which is one of her clients, and that the kids went over there as well, and that the kids claimed to the mother that dad was in the attorney's room all night, which is disgusting because he took his kids over there, and apparently they were fucking. You realize California Bar Rule 8.3 became mandatory, right? If you catch word of another attorney acting unethical, you're mandated to report it, and if you don't, you're guilty too. So you guys need to start doing what's right. I don't care if people want to commit crimes. I get it, but the crimes that are being committed are involving children, and that's disgusting. If any law enforcement is watching right now and you get a phone call, I want you to watch this video, because police officers especially should know better. These are children. These are kids. This is our next generation of leaders. These are children, and especially one of them's mine. And if I get thrown in jail because of my effort to save my child, this world's gonna burn. Because I am not gonna stop until I'm protecting our children. This is our children. I don't care. Throw me in jail then. Throw me in jail. I'll move up the ranks in there. I'll reach out. I'll get out. But this is you guys need to stop what you're doing. Stop attacking innocent people just because they're trying to protect their kids, because I'm not going to be enslaved by you guys. I'm not going to let you tell me what I can and can't do with my kid. It's my fucking kid, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to protect my kid by whatever means necessary. Now, whenever you guys are harming children, my code of ethics that I stand by, I will set those aside to protect kids. When I say I don't harm women and children, if you're harming a child, if it's between a woman and a child, I choose a child every time. Kid, there's a priority there. So I don't harm women and children, but if women are harming children, I will harm women. Do you get it? And when I say women, specific individuals that are harming children, I protect children. Children are the number one priority. Children are the most precious and sweet and innocent things in this world, and I will give my life to protect them. So that being said, it's about 1:06. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna edit this podcast here. I have a lot more coming. I'm gonna update my lawsuit before I submit this, because we're gonna try to do this a little cleaner, less complex. So the people that are still gonna be on the hook in federal court, I'm also gonna lower the amount too, are gonna be Judge Kevin Siebert, Judge Hallie Campbell, Judge David Beiersdorf, Philip Pimentel, Ryan Campbell, Veronica Roberts, Nate Nutting, Clint Parrish, Olivia Phillips, and Julie Sockold. So those two are still going to remain on the lawsuit. I'm going to shift it. I'm going to put Julie Sockold at the top of it, so that the name of the lawsuit is going to be changed from Smith v. Newsom to Smith v. Sockold. You know what? Nah. I'm going to change it to Smith v. Phillips. I'm going to put Olivia at the top. I'll put Julie number 2. Because in all honesty, Olivia's the one that stirred all this up. So I want to let all you guys know, if you want to be mad at me, be mad at me. I don't give a fuck, because I'm protecting my 4-year-old. I'm protecting a bunch of 4-year-olds, because this lawsuit isn't just for my kid. This lawsuit is to stop the behaviors of these judges, and for them to start doing their job correctly. Like, their job is to uphold, the number one job of anybody that takes an oath to the Constitution is to uphold and protect the constitutional rights. Not California family codes, not California code of ethics, not California rules, not even the California Constitution, not even federal law. Supremacy clause comes first, right? You swore an oath on what? What? The United States Constitution. You also swore an oath on the California Constitution, but U.S. Constitution comes before that. So your number one job as a judge is to uphold our constitutional law. Do your job. You know what? Your job would be so much. I'm going to say this. It's going to sound ridiculous. Judges' jobs are so fucking easy. And the reason why I say that is because the only one thing that you have to do, the only thing that's mandatory of you, is to protect constitutional law. That's it. That's the only thing you swore an oath on, right? That's the only thing you swore an oath on, is to uphold and defend the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. That's all. So if you screw up on anything else other than that, you're fine, but you have to be perfect on that. So anybody that swears an oath to the Constitution, an oath means you have to be perfect on that. And that's not. Why is it so hard? The Constitution is the easiest thing to follow. You guys want to know? Okay, I'll tell you a trick. This is an easy one. Ready? This is an easy one. And I'm not saying this to be condescending. I'm saying this because this is how easy it is. If you want to follow the Constitution, California or federal, be respectful. That's all you gotta do. I tell pro per litigants, this is not legal advice, but I tell pro per litigants when they come to me, they're like, how did you do it? They're like, how did you do it? I said, you have to feel for it. So I'm not a law expert, but I know when something's right, and I know when something is wrong and when something's right. Here's a little piece of advice that I follow myself. This is not legal advice for you. This is legal advice for me. Now, if you're in court and something's going on, there's arguing or there's back and forth, and it doesn't sound right, it doesn't feel right, it feels wrong, you feel like you're being shafted, it is. Okay, so California law, federal law, and constitutional law are designed to be right. They're designed to be ethical. They're the laws that are in effect, the laws that are established under the California Constitution and the federal Constitution are those are written for the people by the people. So those are written for moral codes, moral compasses. And if you're in court and you're like, that just doesn't sound right, that doesn't sound fair. If it doesn't sound fair, it's not. It's illegal. So feel it out when you're in court, and you may not be a law expert, you may not have gone to law school, you may not have a doctorate, you may have not taken maybe seminars or whatever. I've never taken any of that. But if you go in there and you sit down and you're going back and forth and you're like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound very fair. It's not. It's not fair. So think of Lady Justice, right? She's blindfolded. What is she holding? Scales, right? What are scales for? It's for balancing, right? The scales are balancing. Yeah, you put the weight on and it's got to be balanced. If you feel like something's not balanced, doesn't feel right, it's not right, it's illegal. So that being said, I'll tell you the first thing so Nate Nutting, whenever I broke away from Nate Nutting, the advice he gave me I don't agree with. If you're going to be pro per, the reason why I don't agree with it is the first thing he told me. He says if you wanted to go off on your own, you should study family code. I think that was the wrong advice. The reason why I say I think that's the wrong advice is that's the advice of a salesman. That's the advice that you would tell somebody if you want them to come running back to an attorney to help, to save you, right? I have a couple dads that have been in and out of attorneys constantly, and they're getting raked across the coals. What I did, the first thing that I did, which is why we have judges that are tripping over themselves to commit white collar crimes right now in my case, the first thing I studied was judicial canons. The second thing I studied was the California Bar Code of Ethics that all attorneys swear an oath on. The third thing I learned was California professional codes and conduct. The reason why I studied all of that is because if you go into family court and I sat back and I watched how it happened, Julie and Kevin Siebert had made it so that they infringed upon that right for me to go in there and learn. I think it's because they felt that I was a danger or a threat to them being able to lie and cheat people. But I just want to tell you right now, everybody that is in any sort of court proceeding, and I'm saying this to myself, is learn the rules that these public servants, and I say that derogatory, so they hate it when you call them public servants, but in reality, it's what you are. It's not lying. I guess it's just derogatory, but it's condescending. And I only say that I'm only referring to the people that took an oath to the Constitution that are lying on it, because you don't have any honor, so you don't get any respect. But if you're going to be self-represented, if I'm going to be self-represented, let me rephrase it. If I'm going to be self-represented, I would go learn the judicial canons of California, if you're in California, and the California Bar Code of Ethics, and professions codes of California professions codes, because these are all regulations and codes and rules that the enemy have to learn, or have to follow. And if you're in there and you don't know those, they will exploit you. Yeah. So family court is major. That's all they are, is exploiting. Julie is like, she's been exploiting a lot of shit to the point where I submit a lot of this to the grand jury. The grand jury, actually, let me rephrase that. I submitted a little bit of this to the grand jury, and they already wrote me a letter back, which is I'm not going to disclose. But I have more. have more that's going to the grand jury. So the grand jury needs to know, because they are a type of oversight. They need to know what's going on. They may not necessarily be an oversight to the judges, but they definitely have the ability to send recommendations to the oversight that does have the ability to take these judges off the bench. So I don't want anybody to have to lose their job. So if any of these judges, Siebert, Campbell, and Beiersdorf, do see this video, I'm all about accountability. I'm all about remorse. I'm all about that. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not getting better. Whenever you guys are pushing the envelope or trying to push down harder on me, you guys realize, like, that's a part of what's going on here. Like, whenever I said I'm an unorthodox thinker and I'm 3 steps ahead, if you watch my videos that go a year back, I said I was going to be incarcerated and full custody was going to be taken away with my son. What happened? Thank you. Keep doing it. Because all you're doing is, and I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard on me. It's hard on me. I'm sacrificing a lot right now to show the public what you guys are doing. I didn't provoke this. All I'm doing is doing what I'm allowed to do. All I'm doing is holding you accountable to the rules you have to follow. And your reaction to it is not only criminal, it's going to end up being a RICO case. And you're going to be investigated. And the people that you think are protecting you right now, they're going to get sucked into it. And they're not going to want to take the fall for your bullshit. So I wanted to notify everybody. I do have individuals that are out of state and out of country that have videos and evidence, and a lot of evidence will incriminate these people pretty heavily. I've been in Tuolumne County since 1994. I've always rode the gray area of the envelope. Go ask Laura Craig. I like Laura Craig. I have a love-hate relationship for Laura Craig. I'm not gonna say anything mean about her, but I am going to say something, and she's probably going to get really mad at me for saying this, but years and years and years ago, I don't know if she remembers this. I do. I used to work for the tribe in Tuolumne, and I used to work with a relative of hers, and a relative by marriage, and I like these 2 individuals. I think they're really cool. I like one of her family member. I like his very direct, no filter, I'm going to tell you how it is, personality. I think it's great, and I wish more people were that honest. Sometimes it's very aggressive. It comes off aggressive, but don't be an ass. Don't be a douche canoe. Be respectful. This individual had an issue with me one time, and I talked to him, and it was a misunderstanding. at the end, he's like, thanks for giving me a call. I'm like, yeah, dude. I was like, I said, if we're gonna do this, at least let's talk about why, the real reason why. And afterwards, it was cool because it was a total misunderstanding. It was it was something that came off wrong, and it wasn't even legitimate. But so that being said, so years and years ago, this was before Laura got married. We went to the Peppery. I don't know if she remembers that. We went out to lunch. And this was when she was an assistant DA, and I'm not gonna readdress the conversation. It was a single lunch. We hung out, and then we went our separate ways. And I'm glad it happened that way, because I don't think, in all honesty, and I'm not saying that I'm a bad person, but I am like right on that. I don't do anything illegal. I have a really strong moral compass, code of ethics. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness until I was 18 years old, and so I was raised very religious and stuff. And I respect people for people, but I also have a condition that I blurt a lot. Whatever comes to mind, I say it. I'm not liberal. I don't candy coat things. If you have a booger in your nose and we're amongst company, I'm gonna tell you have a booger in your nose. Like, I'm the one cracking jokes at funerals. Like, it's inappropriate. I use humor to cover my pain. I don't want other people to feel pain. But I also don't put up with bullshit. Like this whole thing with Julie. Like, this is okay. So Julie got her California bar license to practice reactivated in 2016. I find it kind of funny. 3 months later, she decided to turn from a Republican to a Democrat. And she was a Republican for I don't know, since the 80s. This is totally far-fetched. This may be some tinfoil hat. I'm not saying this is fact. I don't think Julie's a real attorney. And the reason why I say that is I feel... okay, I'm just going to say this is crazy. This is a theory of mine. It's totally a theory. I'm not going to say it's factual, but you know how when they had the voting and they found that a lot of the votes they were getting were from Social Security numbers of dead people? I decided to research that a little bit, and I found that 63,000 plus people paid taxes on Social Security numbers of people that were over the age of 106 years old. That's a lot of people in this country that are 106 or older. There was even one that said that he had registered taxes. He was 123 years old. You ready for this theory? I'm probably going to get shot by the organized crime of Democratic Party, but this is a theory. I think that Democrats are grabbing dead people's Social Security numbers and giving them to people that come across the border that need to register. That's okay. I mean, well, it's not okay. But I mean, you're doing a disservice to a dead person. I don't care. I think that Julie is using a Social Security number of a dead Republican to be an attorney and decided to take this profile and turn it into a Democrat because that's really what she is. It's a theory. I could be wrong. And I think that Nate Nutting is involved. I'm not saying that I know Nate Nutting. I've known him before he was an attorney. I also know he was struggling to pass his bar. And I also feel like he didn't. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. It's just a theory. I'm not saying it's fact. It's just an educated guess that I don't think Julie Sockeld's license to practice is legitimate. I think she's using somebody else. I think it's an identity theft thing. I don't think her name's really Julie Sockeld. And I also have a little bit of stuff on some homes that are entitled. Okay, so the odds of having the last name Sockeld in the United States is 1 in 2.2 million and 63,000. I can go into the little bits and change if you want, but so the odds of having the last name Sockeld again are 1 in 2.2 million. It's not a common last name. And if she was married to a guy named Chris Sockeld and then possibly later on was married to a guy named Brian Sockeld who had a mortgage together in another state, and the title states that they both bought it jointly but living separately under a VA loan, and this individual's a Marine, and some of the affiliates that are associated with her organization were Marines or are Marines. Sorry if I stated that wrong. Nonetheless, it's nice that you got that VA loan for that house. There's also, okay, so if the odds are 1 in 2.2 million of the last name Sockeld, who the fuck owns that house in Calypso Bay that was transferred from a guy named Joseph? Now, his first name is Joseph, but it's Josef. Yeah. And it's weird because the first name's spelled differently. It's Julie Sockeld. It's also not in it's not in a trust either. So I'm just going to let you know if that is yours. I'm aware of it, and you're in a lawsuit. So it's a nice house too. So anyways, that's here nor there. But I think it would be really rare that if 1 and 2.2 million have the last name Sockeld, and there just happens to be two that are right next to each other. We'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Hour and 24. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this as episode 2. And if I said something that offends you, or something that was that it really is getting under your skin, I don't give a fuck. It's my freedom of speech. And nonetheless, so my rights and constitutional law trumps your feelings. Sorry. And but if you want to come talk to me, and something really does, in reality, if something really does bother you, you can come talk to me. I'm open to. I'm not an asshole like that. But when it comes to posting media and stuff, I will not change what I say, because what I say in this is not any direct threats. It may or may not be factual. I'm not stating it as factual. I'm stating it as my personal opinion, or on a preponderance of evidence, right? I mean, if you can adjudicate things on a preponderance of evidence, I can say things under a preponderance of evidence, right? If it's legal. Or if you guys have a little piece of knowledge that you want to share with me, I will keep your identity anonymous. We can meet in person. We can meet privately. We can open up a encrypted talk, chat. And by California Constitution, federal Constitution, and state laws, I don't have to reveal my sources, and I'm not obligated to. And you can't persecute me for it either, because it's protected. And so is my speech. Supposedly, my speech is protected. If it was protected, then we wouldn't be here right now, right? So what I'm going to say is good luck to you guys, and contact me anytime. My phone number is 209-591-0406. That's my cell phone. Give me a ring. We'll talk. But I will not talk about any legal advice, or I will not talk about anything that is incriminating or anything that is fraudulent. And if you want to dump something on me, something you did, that's fine. I'm not a mandated reporter. But I would prefer that we discuss that in person, not over the phone. And that being said, good luck to you guys. And I really hope that some of the people that had taken an oath to the Constitution, that swore to protect our constitutional or well-established laws, I'm really hoping that you guys, if you guys do see this, I hope you're looking at this as a, maybe I should just do what's right and follow my oath, instead of we need to incriminate that guy and shut him up. That's going to end to a bad path. Like, trust me, if you're doing something that's criminal and organized, you need to find when there's a time to get out of that before you go too far. And when you're messing with children, I think you hit that limit. You need to get the fuck out. Like, stop doing it. Just stop doing it. Just do what's right. Give the dads back their children that you're taking from them without authority. You don't have the authority to do it. Just because you have a black robe, you still have to follow the Constitution, U.S., federal laws, and California Constitution. You guys are violating all of those. When you took my kid away, you violated all those. So you're acting under your own authority as a rogue judge. And the only reason why it hasn't been brought down on you yet is because a lot of people are complaining frivolously. So the oversight has to weed that out. And I am going to be very relentless in being in their face about it. They're going to get you. So stop doing it. Do what's right. I could tell you right now, this criminal hearing I have coming up on October 7th, it's not justified. It needs to be fucking vacated. Just throw that fucking shit out of here. And I can tell you right now, you guys are going to it'd be so much more beneficial for you to work with the people that are paying you than it is to oppose them and be a tyrant. Being a tyrant, you can only oppress people for so long before it explodes. That's why I said it's a pressure cooker right now. And it's steaming. It's whistling. You guys need to fucking stop. Because right now, you guys are not hidden and tucked away in Tuolumne County. You're now on the map. one of the videos that Olivia recorded me and leaving the Kohl's parking lot saying I was driving erratic to issue a DVRL. Do you guys know that hit 8.5 million views? 8.5 million unique viewers saw that video. There's a following on my Facebook, and that following has kept me protected. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's not the first time I've made something viral. The time she sent my kid over in clothes that were like 2 sizes too small for him, that hit 795,000 views. The video of those 2 police officers, Sonora PD sergeants, that were antagonizing me in a motorcycle club, that was my video. That was me in downtown Sonora recording. Neither one of those sergeants are still there. That hit 3 million viewers. So, I'm not saying I'm a great content creator. I'm not. But if you when Clint comes into court and saying I made over 1,000 videos, that's what I fucking do, you idiot. That's my job. I'm a content creator. That's like sitting here and going into a newsroom of an anchor and being like, you know how many videos this guy was, you know how many times this guy's been on TV? It's ridiculous. That's his job. That's what he does. I am an independent journalist. I'm reporting what you guys are doing. You guys are coming down on me because I'm reporting your unethical behavior and you're trying to stop it. You guys are using the color of law to deprive rights because you are mad that I'm reporting you guys as an independent journalist. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up, please, because you're providing more content. Thank you.